Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thanks for spending some time with me today because in this video we're talking all about some dated kitchen trends that are back, so be sure you watch the video before you rip any of it out. Now, one of the first trends that is back in style that hasn't been for a while, but always timeless and classic in my opinion, I'm glad everybody is noticing, are glass cabinet doors. Now, this isn't for everybody in every kitchen, but what I can tell you, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because, you know, I work with a lot of clients. I meet with them on a virtual consulting basis, and I think probably in the last 6 months, there have maybe been 2 clients who I have not discussed glass doors in the kitchen with. Everybody is loving them. Everybody is coming to me and wanting them. They want them somewhere in some form in that space. And I think it's great. I love a glass door because you can display things behind it. You have to be really organized though, if you're going to have this. Now, I personally like this glass cabinet situation to make sense in a space. So some clients will come to me and say, I want to have it be like a butler's pantry type of situation where I can display my fine china behind the glass doors. We'll do this in an area where it doesn't have to flank a vent hood or something like that, but it's kind of off to the side. Or some clients will be like, hey, I want perfect symmetry, like I want it here. Maybe they want it on the upper cabinets above. I've had a client who built in upper cabinets, custom, and then added glass doors on top of them. That was fabulous. There's lots of things you can do, but I'm seeing a lot of people really liking the glass doors on cabinetry. Now, obviously, I'm always gonna tell you the pros alongside the cons. The pros are, yes, you can see everything in the cabinets and it's gorgeous. It's an extra detail you can add in and that's beautiful. But the cons are, you have to be super organized if you're gonna have glass cabinet doors because you can see everything. You have to limit yourself so you don't get the full advantage of space that cabinet offers. And that's okay, you just may need to pare back a little bit, all right? But also, you have to clean glass. It shows every speck of dust, every smudge, every little bit of grease. So there is some extra maintenance there. It's just about whether or not you're willing to take care of it and you're willing to put up with the extra maintenance or not. I actually just had a client who she only wants flat cabinet doors because she doesn't want to clean the dusty edge on it. That's something you're gonna have to do with the glass cabinet door. So all of those are things to think about. I'm glad the trend is back because I think it's interesting and great, and you can do this in a traditional sense or even in a very contemporary one. So I personally like it. Now, if you're gonna do traditional, you would obviously have the glass in the cabinet door and the traditional frame and everything, that's beautiful. But if you're going with modern, I would love to see a metal trim detail on that cabinet door. Instead of it being a wooden frame, let's do metal, let's do it a little oversized. You may even do like a smoked glass look with LED lighting behind. Like there's all sorts of things you could do that would really elevate this, make it look luxurious and expensive and beautiful. Keep in mind, every extra detail you add adds something to the bottom line, right? It's gonna be a little more expensive. So doing this, you know, you do need to budget for it. You do need to see if your cabinetry person offers it or can do it, or you can have your cabinets customized to have this, but it's something worth thinking about. Another huge trend for kitchens right now that people are loving, that is a dated detail, right, that we were getting rid of and now is back, is bronze. Bronze hardware is great in a kitchen. And this, it's popular right now for a lot of different reasons, and we'll go into all of them. Some of the biggest trends for kitchen hardware was black, which is a little high contrast, and so I only really recommend using black hardware if you have like walnut cabinetry or something along those lines, that it's not a super high contrast detail. And then we were really liking brass. Brass is beautiful, but not everybody wants polished brass. Some people like the aged look of brass, which I also think is beautiful, but you know, it's like if you want that real brass, are you gonna polish it and take care of it? Like, probably not. Like, it's a big commitment that not everybody wants to make. I totally respect that. Bronze is the happy medium, right? Not as much care has to go into it. It has the aged look and feel that you would get from the brass that has that patinaed finish on it, but it's not as like stark or harsh or deep as black hardware. And that's a big part of the reason people are really liking it. Also, I love to mix metals. I think it looks great in a kitchen, and a kitchen's the only place you can get away with mixing 3 metals, in my opinion, because stainless steel appliances, fine, you can do them, you have them, everybody's expecting to see them. So I don't really look at that as like, that's the metal. Okay, you could just say like, I wanna do brushed nickel, everything to be consistent, fine. I get that. But a lot of people will do stainless steel appliances. Brass accents or details, like the hardware on the cabinetry will be brass, and then they might do a bronze faucet, bronze window hardware, or a little detail on the vent hood in that finish. I love that. I love that so much. Bronze is such a beautiful material and a finish for hardware because in my opinion, it's very neutral, right? Like it's got a warm finish to it, but it's not high contrast because it's not like bold, brassy, gold colored. And it also looks good even if you have white cabinetry, right? Like it's just a softer look and feel than it would be if it was, black on a white cabinet. That's very high contrast. So I love bronze. I'm glad that it's back. If you're going to mix that in and you want to add it into the space, I personally like bronze and brass better together than bronze than anything else. If you want the hardware in your space to be super neutral and very consistent, stick with the brushed nickel. It's a classic, it's a timeless, it's not going anywhere. That is a hardware that has never and will never be on trend because that's what it is. It's a pure and simple classic detail. It's all about what you like and what you think adds to the detail and the personality in your kitchen. And I know sometimes it's hard to decide on what those details should be. I mean, I just met with a client who she's lived in her house for 30 years and never had hardware on her cabinetry. These are some of the things I discuss with my clients and we come up with a solution for. So if you're in a place where you are stuck on any difficult design or decorating decision, you know where to find me at the link in the description box down below, or you can go to intro.co/GarrettLeChic to meet with me on a one-on-one virtual basis where we can talk about all of the things going on in your home. You can show me the space and I can answer those questions for you. Now, another detail that I am so happy that is back, that is dated, that we were getting rid of, we were ripping out, but people are installing again, and I'm very happy about it, are decorative countertop edges. So for the last couple of years, we've liked more modern design in a lot of spaces, and people were using an edge detail typically referred to as eased. And this is basically just a square edge with slightly rounded corners, which is fine. And I totally recommend it all of the time to some of my clients because they just like it, okay? It's simple, it's easy, it's classic. If I'm looking to modernize a more traditional space, this is my go-to detail because it's clean, it's simple, it's understated, and all of the details are what makes traditional design what it is. So refining those a little bit and opting for things that are simple, do the opposite of that, make it look more modern. But I'm seeing people use OGs, cove OGs, a double cove, all of these details that are really beautiful and they add something extra into a kitchen. And they do bring a lot of specific style to a space. For example, in a cabin, you might find a rough or rustic edge on a countertop. I wouldn't expect to find that in a very traditional or colonial style home. I wouldn't expect to find that in a cottage, but in that colonial style home, I wouldn't be surprised to find an OG or a Cove OG because they have a really polished and glamorous feeling. So those are really great in those spaces. I think it's worth getting online, doing a quick Google. You will find, little spreadsheets that have all of the different type of edge countertop details you could add in to decide what's right for your home. And I see people do this all of the time because we're having a big return to traditional design via English cottage style. And so people will use thinner countertop edges. They may do like an eased edge on just a flat, a single not doubled edge on a countertop. That all is great too, but a lot of people are like, hey, maybe I'll take it to the next level. One of the biggest regrets people have when they do their kitchen is that they didn't upgrade the edge detail on their countertops. So it's something you should think about because it's worth adding. And these are also great details to add into other places in your home. A lot of people look at it and they're like, oh gosh, it's so much extra, it's so much more detail. Not really. Most of this stuff is just cut by machine, so it can be added onto a lot of different countertop styles. I personally think you look at what the most expensive details in a space are, what the most quality details are, or finishes or materials, and then we say, okay, how do we take this and make it work? How do we make that look better so we can save ourselves some money, but also update a space? That's what I like. I don't think you always have to gut everything out and take it down to the studs and redo all of it, okay? I don't think that's necessary. Sometimes it's just about updating and adding in details or letting details you already have shine through that will allow your space to feel updated, to feel timeless and current. All of that can be done. Countertop edges are just one of those things that are back, but even if you have something that everybody else is telling you is dated, look at how you can elevate that and how you can make it look better. Like I always say, sometimes it's nice to get a designer in there to have a look at it and tell you what they think so that you can take that and move forward with it. Now, I'm always going to bring you some of these things and some of these sensible design ideas because that's just the perspective I have. We also talk about doing big renovations on this channel and how you can go about doing those. So if you're finding value in the content, hey, you made it this far, be sure you take a moment, hit that subscribe button and join us. We would love to have you as a part of our LeChic family. And I would greatly appreciate if everyone watching could give this video a like and help it get shared out across this platform. So you've decided to join us today, Oh, so cute. You're so handsome, Cornelius, I know. You're not a risk taker like your brother, huh? Oh, so handsome, so cute. Cornelius took a break from his regularly scheduled nap at this time to come and visit us. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. I know, Nard wants to get in my face because now that Cornelius is getting attention, it can't be allowed, huh? Hi. Okay, let's go lay down and let's get back to the video, huh? How's that sound? How's that sound? Okay. Another dated trend that is back that I am seeing are actually square tiles. It's as simple as square tiles, like smaller square tiles. And this was a big trend, and like people would do it to tile countertops and backsplashes, and it would be super consistent. Now we're not so much tiling countertops, but we are doing these like basic square tile backsplashes. And it's mostly through the Zalige tile trend. And hey, I like it. It's actually pretty good. And I talk to clients about it often. It's not maybe my most favorite thing. I think the Zalige tile is like the new subway tile. So I think it's kind of classic. It's kind of timeless. It's not really going to go anywhere. It's not a detail that I think is very trendy, but a lot of people like it. The square tile, that shape, however, is what is something that's dated to me that is now back that people are really appreciating. And even in mid-century design, for example, people are doing these square tile mosaics, where it's just a bunch of little square tiles that are, you know, like it's not natural stone, it's not anything groundbreaking or super expensive, but it's a fine detail that gives a specific feeling of style in a space. And I think that is really interesting. And I love seeing that come back. So these square tiles for backsplashes, for floors, all of that, okay, you know, that's cool and I like it. And a lot of people already have it, which I think is a good thing. But also if you say, hey, I want something that's timeless but feels updated, current, some of these just like basic square tiles are great to incorporate. I've seen people do oversized flooring tiles as backsplash. That's an option, but also I think the pattern matters more. I don't like just a grid of tile, you know, like that's just not my thing. I want to see like a brick pattern, or maybe it's like a 50% offset. You could do a 30% offset. I don't really like that with a square tile though. I think it's too busy. So be sure you're thinking about all of these details and how they come together in your space, whether you have some of these dated finishes or not. Now, another trend that is back, and it's a more luxury trend. I'm seeing a lot of content creators and influencers do this, but I want you to be aware of everything surrounding it, are panel-ready appliances. So panel-ready appliances haven't been super on trend outside of really luxury homes for a good long time. Now I can show you a picture of an original panel-ready appliance and we can all agree it just doesn't look very good. Like, it's kind of obvious. Like, I know that's a refrigerator with a panel on it because I can see the stainless steel edging and trim and everything. It just didn't look very good. So a lot of people were like, why should I spend all of this extra money doing that when it doesn't look good? But today, panel-ready appliances look a lot better. They are very convincing. It does kind of disguise it. I have eyes and I'm an intelligent person. So I can look at a panel-ready appliance and I know that's where it is. I can say like, oh, you know, there's a gap at the bottom. That's where the refrigerator is because it would need that there. Okay, you're not disguising anything from me, but you're making it blend in. They tend to be much more expensive than a standard appliance, a freestanding appliance, a stainless steel appliance. All of that is great and something to think about. But what I do for a lot of my clients, or what I suggest, is that if we don't have the budget for the panel-ready appliances, because sometimes that will just double the budget of the kitchen, okay? And it's just not worth it for everybody, is I will say, let's get a refrigerator, or let's have a look at the cabinetry and do it in a way that matches. So I just have a client right now who has a black stainless steel refrigerator. And I said, you know, why don't we paint all of the cabinetry around it like the same black so that it just disappears into the cabinetry and you don't see it. 10 out of 10. Stunning, gorgeous. They love it. I love it. I'm recommending it to you. These are interesting things you can do. So basically what I'm telling you is, let me make sure nobody's listening in on this. Don't be afraid to get a colored refrigerator. Shocking, I know, that like white refrigerator. Ooh. You can actually make it look really elevated, luxury, and expensive in your home. Just look for some of those elevated details on it. And at the same time, nothing wrong with a stainless steel refrigerator. I'm not opposed to it because I'm expecting to see it. I think the panel-ready appliances are great that they're back, but there are tricks and hacks you can use to create that look for a lot less money. Well, there you have it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure you check out this video right here, all about some dated trends that are coming back, not just for kitchens, but for everywhere in your home. Be sure you check it out, and I will see you over there.